money flows where attention flows, right?
Omar runs a clipping agency which has generated over 2 billion views.
We're partnered with Brez, we're partnered with Vincent, with Marshall Cruz, a lot of these big sharks.
At a young age, he was trying every single business model that you could think of.
I was recently here, tried drop shipping, I tried trading, I was researching Amazon FBA.
He now manages massive clipping communities, the exact same one which made Tate blow up.
Once you get to the point where you have enough money, you should get a fast car, you should get a nice watch, you should get all of these things that'll have your brand. Build more authority, build more trust, end up making more money.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself.
Omar, welcome to the Swain podcast. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Of course, man. For the people who don't know who you are, who are you?
Yeah, bro. I'm 19. I'm from Jersey. I moved to Texas. Right now, I run clipping as my business model. So we run the communities for a lot of these bigger creators. That's what I do, bro.
I see. You said you run clipping. When did you get into clipping?
Bro, clipping is pretty new, bro. I started in January. So, clipping has always been around, but the way that we're doing it through WAP is pretty new. Where the creators put in the budget, usually like traditional clipping, you would do it through TikTok and Instagram, but TikTok pays like 2 cents for every 1,000 views. IG doesn't pay anything, right? Whereas for like WAP, the creators pay you out directly. So it's a pretty new model, but we got to it pretty early once it came out. So I've been doing it since January.
I see. And for the people who don't know what clipping is, what is it?
Yeah, clipping is just where you take other creators' long-form pieces of content and then create short-form pieces of content, and you get paid for the views that you generate for these creators.
I see. And you said you started working with WAP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you guys like partners, or like how does that work?
Yeah, so like WAP, anyone can run an agency through WAP, but with us, like I said, so we've gotten started like pretty early with it, right? So we've gotten like a lot of these big sharks right now. We're partnered with Brez, we're partnered with Vincent. With WAP, we do their YouTube clips directly. We're partnered with Marshall Cruz, Vincent Fisher, a lot of these big sharks in like the entrepreneurship space right now. We're partnered with. So you don't have to directly be partnered with WAP, but we are partnered with WAP just for their YouTube clips.
I see. And how does the process work of, working with someone like Brez, or, like how would the process work? Like, do you just message them? Once you message them, then you just get clips or videos of your YouTube channel and you just start clipping them? How would the process work?
Yeah, so like with like these bigger sharks, what are you asking? Like, how did we get these bigger sharks on?
Yeah, so the first question is, how did you get them on? And the second question is, what do you exactly do for them?
Yeah, so like a lot of guys will sit here and tell you strategy to get these bigger guys in. To be honest, the way that we got in like Brez in the beginning, so we got him in early on. We got him in January. This is before he kind of blew up. So he was blowing up at the time. He was kind of on the come up. He had like 100,000 followers. But I would be sitting here lying to you, telling you that it was like strictly strategy. We outreached to him, my business partner Reza. He outreached to him, and honestly, it was a luck game. But once we got him in, right, pretty like luckily, I guess it was a snowball effect from there. So once we got that bigger shark, it kind of just snowball effect to other entrepreneurs that were big in the space. Now, like once we get them in, we take their long form pieces of content that they make. So they'll put everything within like a drive, and we onboard a shit ton of clippers and their communities, and they just start mass distributing on all of these accounts, right? The same way like Andrew Tate blew up like a couple years ago through mass distribution. He didn't even create an account himself. He just had other people clip his long form pieces of content. That's the same way that we're running it for these bigger creators.
I see. So, because when I was checking your results on your Instagram, I noticed that you work with someone who has like over 100K followers. So how would the process work of getting him to work with you? I guess so. how would the outreach method look like? What would you text them? Like an example of what you would text them.
Um, I mean, usually like we keep it brief. So the first message is obviously just to grab attention within the DMs. As soon as I get their attention some way, somehow, I would send a voice message out as soon as I get going, right? Because if you send a message, they can see that message first off. It sounds like just another one of these outreach, right? A voice message, it comes off a lot stronger when you send it out because these creators will notice it at least, right? So they have to click the message and then play that voice message so that they can see what you're even talking about, right? So once we gotten their attention, right, that's all we need. Then we can start pitching through a voice message rather than strictly a DM.
So just to confirm, the outreach method is you find them. Once you find them, you send them a voice note. Once you send them a voice note, like do they reply back or do you just keep sending voice notes?
Yeah, like I mean, like it depends on who the creator is, right? Like some of them like want to just pull the trigger right there. Some of them have some questions first. I mean, regardless though, whether they have some questions, they don't have some questions. The end of the DM, right? We want to get them on a book call. So once I send out that voice message, right? They'll either just strictly just go ghost or they'll reply. Once they reply, they either have questions or they just want to pull the trigger. Whether they have questions or don't, I mean, at the end of the day, we're funneling them in to a booked call, so it doesn't really matter.
I see. And how did you get started with this?
I mean, yeah. So, the way that I got started with it, I mean, I've always been in like this whole entire like info space for the last like year and a half ish. I had a content agency when I first started. I started growth operating a bit after that. So then I switched off. As soon as I started growth operating, that's when the gap in the market I found it. So once I started growth operating these creators, right? My job as a growth operator is to drive revenue, right? So once all of their like basic um, like structures are in place, right? Their marketing, their sales. Once all of that is in place, and once we're at a point where we just need to scale from there, right? My job is to find other sources where we can generate more revenue, right? Now, obviously, attention goes or money flows where attention flows, right? It's a pretty basic concept, like a lot of these guys understand. So, if we wanted more income in, we knew we had to get more attention. So once we figured out we need more attention, that's when we figured out, hey, like we're gonna start clipping these creators. So one of the creators that I started operating for, we started running clipping for that one creator, and then from there, that's when I found the gap in the market, to where I can just do this for other creators as well.
I see. So you started off with growth upgrading, and during that growth
Exactly.
upgrading, you saw a gap in the market, which you were able to go all in on, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you found that gap, I'm assuming, during January.
Yeah. Exactly.
I see. So currently, right now, like your main thing is clipping. Is that right?
Yeah.
I see. So let's say once you get the client, what would the next step process look like? Do you just go onto your YouTube and just start downloading videos, clipping it, or how does that process look like
I mean, yeah.
once you get the
The first thing
clients?
that we do, the first thing that we do is we set up the community, right? So the community setup is super simple through WAP, right? Because they already have a lot of these systems integrated in their platform. So we set up the community through WAP. It's super simple, super easy, right? Now from there, we onboard clippers. Now there's three ways to onboard clippers. We can do it either through WAP, through the creator's personal brand, right? Or we could do it through directly our group, right? So we have a group ourselves with over 15,000 clippers. So every time we onboard a creator, we will post their group within our group with our clippers. They'll get onboarded there, or they'll come in through WAP. Now, WAP clippers are pretty shit, so we have to find a way to train those guys up. So that's where we'll plug in a bunch of like course modules within their community, so that those guys can get trained up. Aside from that, the same way that we would have to train them through WAP is the same way that we would have to train the clippers that come in through their personal brand. So they'll run a story post, hey, need clippers, text, either they'll put my partner's whoever it is, they'll onboard those clippers from their personal brand, and it's the same exact way through there, or they'll get trained up through clippers, and then also to like, we have moderators that go in and communicate with these guys directly. So once those clippers are in, we're pretty much all set to go. We just need the creators' content, right? So whether their content is through YouTube, whether they have like a big Google Drive with the content, wherever it is, that's what we would put in as a resource in the community, and those clippers would just start going, right? Like we would set guidelines, rules, other criteria, everything like that, right? Now, these clippers, they'll take that content wherever it came from, whether it came from YouTube, their Drive, they'll start clipping that content up, start posting it, and once they do post it, they can submit their video in the community where one of our moderators will either approve or deny that video, and they'll get paid out for it.
I see. That's really interesting structure, to be honest. But since you have like a lot of people or a lot of clippers, how do you keep track of all this? And like, for example, let's say someone is popping out 5 videos a day, right? Do you have like someone specifically that's going to be checking all those videos, or?
I mean, yeah. So the creator's job to communicate with us on like the actual videos. So if they create 5 videos at once in a day, right? We're not gonna like I guess like spawn in the idea that this guy just created 5 videos, right? Like we're not gonna read his mind, right? So he's gonna have to either let us know. I mean, that's pretty much it. He's gonna have to let us know that, hey, I've created 5 videos right now. I put them in this drive. Tell your clippers to get after them. Right?
Oh, sorry.
So they'll have to cue us in some way.
Okay, what I actually meant was for the clippers, because you said like once the clippers create a video, they have to send it to you, so you guys can validate the video, right?
They can post it on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts directly. So they can post it, right? Now, whether that post will get paid for or not, it would have to be submitted first. So they can post it. They don't have to run it by us to post it. They would have to run it by us to get paid from it.
Okay, so how does the payment process work with these clippers?
Yeah, it's super easy. So they'll have the video, they'll submit it in the group. So these creators, they'll put in a budget, right, within the community. So let's say they put in like $10,000. Right, so they'll put that $10,000 budget in the community. Now these clippers can eat from that $10,000 budget, right? So what these clippers will do, they'll generate views, right, that will match the CPM. So most times, in most cases, we'll have most creators at like $2 for every like 1,000 views, right? So, and then also too, they'll have a minimum views that they would have to get on the video to get paid out for. Usually that's like something very small, like 5,000 views. So the clippers would have to reach that minimum, and they would get paid that $2 for every 1,000 views, for example, in this case, right? So they'll get paid out for that. They would just submit it first, right? Because there'll be guidelines and rules. So if their video isn't matching the criteria in the guidelines and rules, then they won't get approved for it, right? So they'll get denied for it. But if they submit it and everything checks out, right? Like things like not making the creator look bad, things like the video being a certain like duration, it can't just be like a 10-second or a 3-second clip. Things that give them enough exposure, stuff like that, right? That would have to run by first. Once they submit it and it's approved, WAP pays them out directly and automatically.
Okay, so this is pretty much the process. The clipper clips the video. And wait, so how long does it have to be? Because you said there's like a certain duration.
I mean, yeah, so like usually we'd have it at like 10 seconds at least for the clip, so that like the creator's face is on their screen for a long enough time, right? Because the creators don't want to spend their money. Like imagine you were a creator and spent your money, I guess, on a 3-second clip right? That didn't really like bring any value to your brand. So they want to get their face out there for a good amount of time where their face is recognizable through the video, where it's just not like a 3 second clip that might go viral, but might not do anything for their brand. So they want like a good amount of screen time so that it causes some exposure for the brand. So, I mean, usually we run it by the creator or the creator's team or whatever it is. We run through all these guidelines and rules and everything like that through them first. But on average, I'd say it's like 10 seconds.
Okay. So the minimum duration is about 10 seconds. So let's say the person posted a video that's like 11 seconds to yeah, let's say one person posts a video for 11 seconds and another person posts a video for 60 seconds. Let's say the video gets 10,000 views. Both of them are going to get paid the same amount, right?
Yeah. They're getting paid the same amount, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what is the onboarding process look like for the creators? So like, after you get the clients, what does the onboarding process look like specifically for the clients?
The onboarding for the clients?
Yeah, for like the creators that you bring on.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's pretty simple. I think I explained it already. But I mean, once they're in, all they have to do is put in the money and give us the content. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, because like when you say like once they're in, so do you just send them a link through the Insta? Because like on the Instagram, that's where you talk to them, you send them the voicemail, then you guys set up a video call, you guys talk for a little bit. After you guys are done talking, is that like the onboarding process itself, like that call on Instagram, or?
So we'll set up like other calls. We'll communicate constantly throughout. We'll find some way of like communication that's ideal for them. So whether it's like WhatsApp or iMessage, whatever it is, we'll find that ideal point of like communication, and then we'd go back and forth while we're building out the WAP, right? Like I said, we have to run through these guidelines, these rules, these criteria, and make sure like everything is the way that they want it. So it's not just a one call thing where we just like run through like, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a couple questions, and they'll just answer it. But I mean, it is pretty simple at the end of the day, right? Like the only thing that we really have to go over with them is like guidelines and stuff like that, and like payments. It's a bunch of like pretty simple stuff, but it's around like maybe like a 3-day process. We'll just text back and forth, and we'll do a like maybe like a launch call before we actually start. But it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Once we actually get going, we just need to like go over like payments, the guidelines, how they want their content out, like stuff like that, right? So it's pretty easy, and yeah, it's pretty short and simple. So
Yeah. The reason why I asked that question again was because before I knew you touched on it, but it seemed a little too simple. So I was like, wait, is the onboarding process really that simple? But yeah, it really is that
nah,
simple.
it is really simple. Yeah, it really is that simple. Like, bro, once these guys are like, we're not working with the guys that are like frugal about like $2,000-$3,000, $5,000. These are guys that are like, hey, like this will get me attention, which will get me money. Here, take my money and use my content. Like these guys are super simple. They're a lot easier than like you would think to work with. They're not like a bunch of like, I don't know. It's not like a regular sales call with like someone with like $1,000 to the name, right? And you're trying to sell them on something that they can't afford. These guys are breaded up, right? So like these guys don't care. They'll throw 10K, they'll throw 20K, they'll throw 50. Like these guys do not care. Like they invest in themselves constantly, right? Already, right? Like these guys they invest in mentors, they invest in like jets, they invest in cars, they invest in their marketing. They've already invested, right? This is not something new for them, right? Whereas so like if it was a new creator, right? Maybe like yeah, it's a bit of a tug of war with like any like new creators that we bring on that are like maybe like 20,000-30,000 followers. But aside from that, like the guys that are already big, those guys are super easy. They don't care about anything, right? I mean, they do care, obviously. Like they're taking like precautions, like while they work with us, right? But they're not being frugal about the money that they're spending, right? They're worrying about is really like us, our trust, how we're built, like stuff like that. The money though is actually the least of their worries at all. They don't care about the money they're spending. They already spent money on mentors, like I said. They're already spending on like a lot of these guys will spend money on cars before they retire their parents, right? And a lot of people would think like, hey, they just don't give a fuck about their parents. But that's not the case at all, right? They got the car so that they can market themselves better, make them more money, right? And then put themselves in a better position to where they can retire their parents. For a lot of guys, like they think investing in their marketing is a decision like that they should take lightly, right? It should be the first decision on your mind, right? Once you get to the point where you have enough money, you're in a good position, you should get a car, you should get a fast car, you should get a nice watch, you should get all of these things that'll only have your brand build more authority, build more trust, right? And you'll end up making more money. So you might have just bought like $100,000 car, right? But that $100,000 car might have made you millions, right? So back to like clipping, like their investment and their marketing, right? There's nothing really new to them. These guys have bought cars before for directly their marketing. Like I said, they'll do that before they retire their mom. So it's nothing new for them.
I see. For the ROI media, what is your role in that?
Yeah, like I build a lot of like the back end like actual like systems. So once a like client is onboarded, right, we get a lot of like traction through referrals. But my partners are actually a lot of the ones reaching out to these creators. We actually have no personal brand built out for the company at all. Like I said, it was mostly a luck game in the very beginning, and then a referral game once we got a couple of those guys in, right? So that's my role right now, where I'm just building the actual things on the back end. And then aside from that, I'm posting content now. I've only been posting content for the last like 2-ish months on Instagram. I haven't even been really taking it serious. I don't really give a fuck. I was just really fucking around. And the first month though, I got like 16 million views. Right now, I think I'm sitting at like maybe like 10 million views right now for the month. I'm not really taking it too serious, but right now, I'm amping it up for sure. I recorded like earlier today. I recorded like a bunch of content last night. Like I'm gonna start amping it up so I can build a brand that actually like will get attention for the company. So my goal right now is I'm building my own personal brand, and once a client is onboarded, I'm strictly just onboarding these clippers, building out this community, stuff like that.
Okay, so when you say your main role is working on the back end stuff, so I'm assuming does that have to do with like onboarding or?
Yeah, like communicating with the creator, building out the actual WAP community, onboarding the clippers, and making sure everything's organized, ready to go, sending out messages to the community, like stuff like that. So, I mean, it's super basic, super simple. I'm not gonna sit here and say like my role is to run a whole entire like empire, right? Like it's super basic, super simple, gets the job done, and also too, I'm building a brand that's actually like worth, I guess, putting out there.
I see. So you're more like the manager, right? Like you're managing things, right?
I guess so. I guess you could, if you was to like put a title on it, maybe yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't really like have like a title role in like the whole entire thing. I'm just low key like free balling everything. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Like, you know, I don't need to sit here and like, hey, like this is my title. Like this is like I don't need to really do any of that. It's super simple. Just set up quickly, send out a couple messages, on to the next. Let me create some content here. Let me like, you know, it's really not like a huge like role, really.
Yeah, I really love it, bro. Like you have like a lot of freedom in that aspect right there. But you guys have gained over 2 billion views for your clients. How did that happen?
I mean, yeah, like bro, I mean, it depends on the creator, bro. So like I would love to say like it was all us. I mean, but it all depends on like really the creator most times. So with the creator, it depends on the exposure that they're actually bringing in, right? So like with Brez, that motherfucker crashed his car like 10 times already. You know what I'm saying? So he's bringing in attention, right? Now that attention just needs to get capitalized on. We have good clippers, obviously, that I'm gonna take credit for. Our clippers do their job really fucking good, right? But it really depends on the creator most times. Is there a person that's actually someone to generate attention or not? That's kind of falls on them. Now, our job is to capitalize on that attention that they bring, right? So, like I said, bro, that kid, like, bro, he crashed his car like fucking 10 times. So, like, there's no way we don't capitalize. If we don't, right, if someone came to us and say, yo, this creator just fucking crashed his car, you guys can't produce good content for it. It's literally the best content, like, that you got, that anyone has. We would kind of look stupid not to. So, I don't want to take full credit. Our clippers are good. Aside from that, the creator has to be better.
I see. I want to really understand you and your journey and how you got here. So was the growth operating like the first business you've ever started, or how was your journey
Nah,
like onto this business path?
honestly, like, bro, growth operating was not even anything in my mind at all. Like, growth operating was the last. Like, I didn't even know what the growth operating was until I fell into the category of growth operating. Like, I didn't strategically say, hey, I'm gonna run this content agency. Once I make a little bit of money here, I'm gonna take the skill of marketing and then do growth operating on top of it. Maybe I'll learn the sales processes, funnels. Maybe I'll learn all of these things as I go. I didn't strategize that way. But in the beginning, when I started, I was just doing a bunch of random shit, right? So, like, I don't come from, like, somewhere where I was super engaged in this, like, online world, right? But I was just kind of freeballing shit. I was reselling here. Everyone tried drop shipping. I tried trading a little bit here and there. I was researching Amazon FBA. Never pulled the trigger because I was fucking 16 at the time. I was working jobs. I was, doing whatever like I really could to make money. Right. My end goal was not, hey, I'm gonna cause a dent in the info market. My goal was, hey, I need to make money now. Right. So whatever way that it was to make money, right now, like, I'm super, like, I love the category that I actually fell in because I love marketing, I love content. Like, I guess it all kind of falls in place, right? Like, when you're on your kind of journey, right? So it's good that it fell in place the way that it did. But honestly, I really didn't care about, like, falling into, like, this category. If I got rich off of selling Labubus, I would be completely fine with where I am right now, right? If I got rich off of like concrete, if I got rich off of literally anything, right? And that was the main goal. The main goal was not through content, was not through marketing, was not through growth operating. My main goal was just to make money, right? So in my little, like, I guess, era of just trying shit, right? Reselling, drop shipping, trading, FBA, literally every single business model. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start content creation as well, right? So then I started that. I started actually clipping was the first thing. Funny enough, I made like $100 with it, and then I fucking quit. This was like 2 years ago. So I made like $100 through YouTube, and then quit. Um, so I mean, yeah, that was it with clipping, and then from there, I just kept doing content. I was trying to lock up my first creator with content creation, so I started doing a bunch of outreach. All right, so then I locked up that creator for their content. Started doing it for absolutely free, right? So a lot of people think like, hey, like I want to make money in 1 month. I want to make 10K by next month. Like that's realistically not gonna happen. You might have to eat shit before you even see any bit of money at all. So that's what I had to do, especially, right? So I had to just eat shit, take my pride in it, and say, hey, this is a skill that I'm gonna learn, right? And I was already generating some money as well through like reselling, right? I was generating like a good amount of money just because I was always just doing shit. I had this meetup here, this meetup there, right? So I was making maybe around like $5,000 to like $8,000 maybe, right? Through reselling. It was a good chunk of money because I was just reselling like a bunch of shit and I had like little small methods with it. So I was making like a good amount of cash flow with that. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop my ego, work for this guy for free, build my skill, and then I'll charge off of it.
I see. Yeah, that's really interesting, seriously. But I think when most people just think of Omar, they think of, a guy that's running a clipping company right now, but they don't really see all the hardship that you've went through. They don't really see like all the struggles or like all like they haven't really seen like all those hardship that actually made you or brought you to where you are right now. So I definitely want to go um back to the beginning. So you like you got onto your business path at the age of 16, right? What
With like
motivated
what,
you?
just making money?
Yeah, like you going out there to make money and all that stuff. Was that at the age of 16?
Yeah, I think yeah, it was around like I mean I was always working, so I
Yeah,
had like a job ever since I was like 14 and stuff. But yeah, I think when I actually started like trying to make money, yeah, I was 16.
16. All right. So what motivated you to actually, get onto that path?
I mean, bro, like I was fucking poor. Like there's no other bigger motivator than like I guess seeing like your family is poor, I'm poor, right? Like what can I do? Also too, like I feel like it's super cliche the way that it happened with me, because I just got broken up with. So it was like super cliche, like super cliche, I guess, the way that it happened, right? But I got broken up with, right? And the way that that happened was, I wasn't taking her out, I wasn't doing this because I had no fucking money, right? So as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I have to make money, right? A part of it was fuck that bitch. A part of it was I need to help my parents. A part of it was I'm poor. I'm never gonna get seen like this again, right? But the main motivator, the main like driving factor was, hey, I'm fucking poor. This is not gonna happen again. So that's when the whole entire thing started.
Would you
Yeah.
recommend having a girlfriend at a young age when you're broke?
I would say yeah. Like I would say like a lot of people will tell you to stay away from having a girlfriend when you're young, I guess, so that you can focus and stuff like that. But I mean like the same guys with all of the experience, with all of the money that they have, right, are telling you to stay away from having a girlfriend, stay away from doing this, doing that, whatever, right? All of these things that shape them, right? They're telling you to stay away from. I think it's the most like I guess brainwashing that you can do for like someone that's like I guess coming up, right? Because it doesn't really, in the grand scheme of things, fucking matter whether you had a girlfriend or not, whether you like, whether you did anything really. Like it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because it's all going to shape you based off of experience, right? I think the worst thing that you can possibly do while you're young, right, is have no experience and then end up with nothing to really say at the end of the day, right? Like I'm sitting here, right, I can communicate fluently with you, right, on the topics that like got me here just because I have the experience and knowledge to, right? Where on the other hand, someone can be the same, I guess, intelligence, right? With the same knowledge on these factors like clipping, content, marketing, all of these things, right? But they can't, I guess, project it in a way where anyone would really give a fuck, right? Because their experience is like you have no like life experience. Like, what do you like? There's really nothing to fucking work with, right? So, I mean, I think like having a girlfriend, anything like that, I don't think it's gonna be the biggest driving factor whether you get rich or not, right? I think it'll be a big driving factor though for like your experience in life, right? So there's a couple of reasons though. Like I mean, some people don't want a girlfriend for religion, which I respect, right? But if it's not for religious reasons, right? I think having a girlfriend or whatever could be one of the main driving factors to you actually making a change within your life.
That's looking pretty deep, but the at a young age, you've tried multiple businesses. You've tried drop shipping, you've tried, sneak reselling, Amazon FBA and all these other businesses at a young age. Why do you
Yeah.
think why do you think they failed?
Um. Honestly, like none of I guess like why do I think they failed? That's a really good question. But I don't think like a lot of them failed because I couldn't do it. That's not why I think like the businesses that I ran failed, right? I think it just came down to like doing whatever it took to make money, right? So my brain isn't like structured to strategically think like, hey, like if I persist, like I know right now, right? If I were to start anything, right, persistence and consistency is gonna take me to the outcome that I want through the business model. Right? That's not the way that I used to think. I was just like, okay, I need money now. How can like is this gonna make me money? Is it gonna if nothing made me money now, then I would just instantly, I guess, like quit, right? But not quit in the sense of like, hey, like I quit, like I'm a quitter, like hey, like this shit isn't making me any money right now, so I'm gonna do the next thing that's going to possibly make me money, maybe, right? So my mindset wasn't really like, hey, this is like something that I'm gonna have to stay persistent with so that I can generate the money that I want from it, right? I might not make any money now, right? It might take some time. That wasn't my mindset at all. Right now, as you I guess mature in the markets, right, you start to develop that where it's like you don't really ever feel the business models that you start, right? It just comes down to being consistent with it because all of these business models they work, right? Like there's someone that's making money off of dropship. There's someone making money off of TikTok shop. There's someone making money off of trading. There's someone making money in almost every single business model. All of the business models that you probably failed, there's somebody succeeding within it. So it's not a, I guess, deciding factor. The business isn't the deciding factor that causes it to fail. It's the mindset of the person behind it.
That's real. So for the sneaker, right? You think if you stayed consistent, if you kept on doing sneaker reselling since the age of 16 to where you are right now, do you think you'll be much better off than where you currently are right now?
If I kept doing reselling,
Yeah.
I think no, I don't think I would be further than I am right now. I think if I was still doing reselling, I would stay stagnant to a point. I mean, yeah, that business model isn't really like, I mean, you can scale it obviously, but it wouldn't be to a point where it's actually like you can't have any systems in place with reselling, right? There's a certain amount of supply you have with a certain amount of demand that you have to play within this market to do, right? And you have to find these people have to come to you, all of this stuff, right? So you're kind of playing in a box with it. With this, I can take on 10 clients at once and not be scared at all because I have systems to back it up.
Definitely. And what you said before about most businesses, it's about staying consistent. And at first you were just looking for that, like if this business is not making me any money, then you move on to the next thing. I think for the last couple of years I was also in that stage right there. I honestly recently got out of that stage. So I would
Yeah.
start a business. Once I start a business, then my main focus is I gotta make money, I gotta make money, I gotta make money. Then I'll make like a couple of dollars, and once I see the growth is like starting to stagnate, then that's when I'll just switch business model. That's what I've been doing for like, so I'll literally run a business for like 1 or 2 months, and once I see that it's a bit stagnant, then I'll just switch. I don't know why I do that, but then I kind of just switched it up a bit. I kind of just stopped focusing about the money. I kind of just focused on just staying consistent with it. That's kind of what I'm doing with this podcast. Because right now I'm not really monetizing this podcast. It's, I guess right now my main focus is growing on audience, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of stood out to me what you said about staying consistent. It really did stand out to me. But what was your, because you feel like since you feel like multiple business right there, most people at that young age, most people would probably be depressed. Oh my God, I failed this business. I'm gonna give up or something like that. What was your mindset like? What kept you going?
I mean, like, I think like that's the most like failing mindset that you can have towards like business at all. Like if you're just sitting there thinking like, like, is this gonna work? Like, am I like, is it me? Is it like whatever? All of this is like, in the grand scheme of things, it means fucking nothing. Like, just think less and do more, right? That was my main mindset, right? Like, you can't inject the mindset into someone else, right? Like you would have to, like, I don't know, like it's super hard to inject a certain mindset that you have for yourself for someone else, right? But most times, right, the guys that are winning, those guys are not thinking about like all that shit, right? It might be like strategic. Maybe like the smarter guys will think like, hey, like don't analyze this, analyze this, analyze this. Like in the grand scheme of things, it means fucking nothing. Like just think less and do more, and then you'll end up making more. You'll end up finding a business model that works, right? Whereas so like if I'm sitting contemplating on the one business I failed for months on end, I could have tried another 10, right? Maybe one of them would have worked. Like at that point, right? Like and the grand scheme of things, bro, like failing a business means nothing, really. Like if you're just on, it all comes down to the way that you think, right? The way that your brain is wired. Right? If your brain is wired, like, okay, fuck, this isn't making me money. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this. Like, this is making me money. Fuck this. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Honestly, I don't really like how this works. I'm gonna try this other business model. Right? It doesn't actually matter. The main thing that matters in business when you're trying to make money, right? You have your starting point, you have your end goal, you want to make a certain amount of money, right? Anything in between is just fucking nothing, right? Anything in between is just pre-cum to the actual load, right? It just means nothing, right? Until you actually get there to the ending. So all of it in the middle is just, yeah, it just actually means nothing.
That's true. For the ROI media, how did you get connected with them?
Yeah, like those guys that I got connected with. So, as soon as I found this gap with the client that I was working with growth operating, that was a moment that I started hitting up people that was already running it themselves. So I started hitting up guys that were clipping. Now this is when like right when they got Brez, right? So I wasn't a part of ROI Media until they got Brez, right? That was the point that they took him on. As soon as they took him on, though, I started texting their clippers, right? I was like, "Who's behind this? Who's behind this?" So I would actually that's not the way that I was doing it. So the clippers, I texted them playing like I wanted to be a clipper as well. That's the way that I was playing it in the DM. So I was texting these clippers, hey, like I want to start clipping for Brez too. How do I start clipping? This and that, whatever. So I would go through these conversations with these clippers, right? And then one of them said, hey, like this is the guy behind everything. Just text him and he'll get you started. I was like, okay, cool, great. I didn't actually give a fuck about being a clipper. I wanted to contact the guys that was behind it. So I got the contact. As soon as I did, I started messaging him back and forth. He isn't big. He has 1,000 followers, right? So I started messaging him back and forth. We hopped on the phone, right? And he was like, hey, we have like everything already structured in place. Why don't you join us, right? And we'll teach you everything like that. So he was basically pitching the idea that I joined them and he wanted to mentor me within the space because it was a super new space, right? So he wanted to take his time and energy so that he can teach me, right? He set a fee for his, like, to I guess, mentor me, right? As soon as he said that fee, I paid it, and then we quickly got going from there, right? And I think that also, like, links back up to whether, like, you're going to make money or not. Like, a lot of people would think, like, saving $3 on a coffee every single day is going to equate to them being rich. It actually means nothing in the grand scheme of things, though. If you want to get rich, right, the main thing is that you live in abundance and that you constantly invest, right? So that $3 coffee might have been a bad investment in terms of the money that you have in the bank. But that $3 coffee would allow you to have more energy, have more momentum. You could have done this more. You could have done this faster. You could have outreached to this person. You could have posted this story a lot quicker just because you got in that little coffee, right? So momentum compounds. Now the same way that I have this, I guess, ideology with having like a coffee every day, whether you have no money in the bank, some money in the bank, all means nothing, right? So I invested into myself with a mentor that, I mean, got me to where I am right now.
I see. And I'm assuming Reza was the one that onboarded you. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, cool. And you said he mentored you. So, like, what do you mean by he mentored you? Like, did he teach how to clip or?
I mean, no, he didn't teach me how to clip. So, like, he was running his agency. He was gonna teach me, I guess, how to. He didn't have a mentorship, right? So he didn't say, "Hey, I want to mentor you." The way that it actually was reversed. So I was like, "Hey, bro, like you already have this." So I pitched him basically on him mentoring me. So I told him, like, bro, just teach me everything that I need to know, and I'll give you a fee. He said his fee. I paid his fee. Um, so he didn't actually have a mentorship structured, anything like that. He was kind of put in a weird situation where he was like, okay, this guy wants to pay me money. I'm not going to say no. So then he took it, right? As soon as he took it, we started doing like FaceTimes every single day. He didn't have any mentorship built out. Like I said, there wasn't an onboarding process. It wasn't this, that, whatever, right? It wasn't structured. We were just on FaceTime every day. He was teaching me this, teaching me that, whatever, right? Until it came to the point where he was like, bro, you're going to kill. Why don't you join us? So
How important is mentorship?
I think like mentorship is like almost everything really. Like if you think about the guys that are doing it big in the space, those guys that are that are mentoring you have mentors, right? Your mentors have mentors. So it all comes down to like just dropping your ego and saying, "Hey, these guys have information where I don't have it. What I'm gonna do is either you pay the price with time or you're gonna pay it with money." Right? You just have to pick which one you want to go with, right? You're either going to pay with time to find out the information that these guys already have, or you're going to pay with money. You're going to pay the price either way, right? So it doesn't really matter whether it's through mentorship or not, you're going to pay the price regardless. So whether you value your time more or you value your money more, that's the main deciding factor, right? And if you value your time more, right, you'd spend the money. But if you value your money more, you might just always like stay poor, I guess, in a sense, because I mean you're not willing to spend. I mean you don't have anything to your name anyways, right? So like most times, like people want to like people are scared to spend like their last like 1,000, 2,000 on like a mentor. Like in the grand scheme of things, it means you're still poor anyways. You're gonna spend either $1,000, right, on something that's gonna give you an ROI. You might make money off of it, or you might just get an experience off of it, whatever it is, right? But you having an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 even to your name, like it actually means nothing, right? It's not going to be the deciding factor. That money just sitting in your bank is not going to decide, hey, you're going to be rich versus you're not, right? The actions are going to speak louder than your money does, right? So if you take the action and say, hey, I'm either going to sit here, make no money, right? And maybe in the next couple months, save up, save up, save up, save up. Or I'm going to pay, and this guy's going to teach me the necessary knowledge that I need so I can get to where I want to go.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people think having a mentors is a scam. I don't know why, but definitely it is a huge investment. You get to save a lot on time. But yeah, what was the most important lesson that you learned from Rez?
What, Matt, from who?
From Rez, like Reza.
Oh, from Reza. I mean, honestly, like he didn't teach me any like thing like I guess mindset wise or anything like that. I think a lot of those things are like innate, but he did teach me like the necessary info I needed with this whole entire like agency model. So I mean, he didn't teach me like a lesson that was like changing to my mindset, but he taught me information that I utilize now to build the company to where it's at right now.
All right. So what was the most important information that you learned from him?
I guess like agency wise, I mean, it all links up to each other really. Like it's not anything that would be something like over the other really. They're all equally important. They all play a role within the agency, right?
Yeah.
So everything plays a role, right? From the sales aspect, right, to the onboarding, to getting like all every single part of the agency plays a role. One without the other would mean, I mean, the whole entire thing would collapse. There would be no agency, right? So I feel like all of it was equally as important. I think the main thing that would like stick out, I guess, would mainly be like maybe sales, right? I already had like really good sales experience with it, right? So I didn't need to get sales trained, but I guess like how to sell, um, I guess to these creators would probably be like the main thing, right? Because it's a little bit different. Right? It's not really like, I guess, ideal sales.
I see. What's one question you wish people would ask you, but they don't?
People would ask me. I mean, like I don't know. I don't really care to like get asked certain questions just to feed my ego.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, like I don't really care to get asked questions to feed my ego. If someone has a question about a topic that they're not interested about, but I'm interested about, that's gonna do nothing for them. Maybe it might boost my ego. So, I mean, that's not really something that I'm looking to do. It doesn't really interest me to get asked questions. That doesn't interest the person because it's not gonna solve any problems. If someone, the main like, I guess, point of a question is to solve a problem that someone has. If someone has a problem or has a question, right, I'm gonna solve it with my answer. So yeah, like I wouldn't want like a question that wouldn't genuinely interest someone else.
I see. That's interesting. On your personal brand, on your Instagram, you post some of the most extreme stuff there. Is is that like strategic or why?
I mean, yeah, like I feel like the guys that garner attention the best are the guys that say the most outlandish shit, right? They maybe not might say like the most outlandish shit in like that way, but they stand out in some way. They have some unique factor that's driving them to attention, right? So, yeah, like with me, like bro, like garnering attention, like it's like super easy, I guess, for me, just because I'm saying extreme shit, right? Where like as to like most people wouldn't be able to say that though, or like say most of the things that I would be able to say with confidence, right? Like some like little like nerd neck cannot sit here and say the same shit. You know, no one's gonna fucking listen. But yeah, like the content that I produce, I mean, aside from me, the people that garner attention the best are the people that can stick out in a way that the market isn't, right? So a lot of people are staying pretty stagnant. They all have the same ideas. They all have the same concepts. They all have their own, like, I guess, like, they all have similar traits, right? Where you have to find something that's going to have you stick out, right, in a way. So, yeah, I mean, my thing is like I can get attention from whatever way I really want. At the end of the day, it doesn't really like affect much. Maybe like I don't know what you thought, like maybe like hopping on this with me right now, but like I'm not retarded, right? Where like you would expect me to probably be retarded, right?
I see. Because I was watching like some of your videos, right, on Instagram, and I found this so funny. Seriously, I sent it to some of my friends, and it's
Yeah,
kind of like it's motivational, but you're using like analogies, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I loved it.
yeah,
It was really nice. I loved it. All
yeah.
right, let's do a hot take game. So I'll give you three controversial statements. You have to either agree or disagree, and you have 60 seconds to defend your point.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Most clipping agencies fake their views numbers to attract clients.
I disagree because the way that I mean it's super easy to tell if someone's faking or not, but most times most agencies aren't gonna fake because WAP shows the numbers directly. When you generate views or clippers generate views for the creator, right, it automatically shows on the dashboard, right? So unless someone is like photoshopping their dashboard, right, there's no really way to really fake it, right? It's all in front of there, it's all on the dashboard that you can see visibly. If someone doesn't pull up a dashboard through WAP directly, then you can easily tell that it's fake.
If your content doesn't go viral in 24 hours, it's already failed.
I disagree. Sometimes you have to just let it sit. Like that's the way. Like the sometimes like Instagram or the platform or the people need some time so that it can pick up. I've left videos on some of the creators that I work with page, right? that got no views within the first 24 hours and got hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views as they started to pick up, right? So it's not a game of like 24 hours or a time frame. It's just a game of, is the content actually good, and if it will like show itself.
AI will replace 90% of human editors and clippers within the next 5 years.
I disagree. I think like AI is definitely a good tool to like, I guess, edit, but it's not going to do the job the way that a human would, right? Like obviously AI is like the highest level of intelligence right now, right? But as for like creativity, right, things that are innate within humans, right, and AI wouldn't have, right? So with certain gaps in videos, certain audios, certain things that make the video a video, right, with human creativity will make that video 10 times better. Maybe a AI video could still go viral, right? But I would argue that one made by someone that's a human will go even more viral because the audience is a human, right? So humans will target more humans. So I mean, the AI won't get as far, right?
But that's in the next 5 years, though. What do you think in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like I guess so. Maybe in 5 years from now, maybe there will be some AI that can like take over. But like I just can't see it. I just can't see it right now. Like you can only see like you can't imagine a different color than what already exists. So what exists right now within AI, I just don't believe that it would be able to take over a lot of things that like humans would be able to do with their own mind and creativity. Now, if it happens, then I'll believe it.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Paid ads are still more powerful than organic clipping communities.
I disagree. I disagree. Yeah. I think paid ads are super powerful. I think that a lot of people should be still utilizing paid ads, and most people do. Even the guys that are using clipping to generate attention, they're still utilizing ads. Now, ads will do like a lot of conversion, but will they garner attention better than clipping? Absolutely not, right? Clipping will get your face all over the market as long as the things that the things that are coming out of your mouth is actually like interesting to the market, right? And your content is actually like attention garnering, then clipping will expose that 10 times better than an ad would.
Definitely. What is the top? Let's say someone was looking to start a clipping agency, right? What's 3 pieces of advice you would tell that person?
If someone was to start a clipping agency, I would tell them to stay consistent. Number one, that's super cliche, right? But it works. I would say stay consistent. I would say master sales, and the last thing that I would say is quit, because we're gonna outcompete you anyway. So you might as well just quit. So if you were to start a content agency, you can stay consistent. You can have sales backing you up, right? But there's bigger sharks like us that are always going to take over. So I would say quit. I would say there's no point of starting a clipping agency right now when there's sharks like us that are just going to eat you alive.
Why do you say sales?
I think sales is one of the most important driving factor to whether you make money or not, right? The marketing can only do so much for you. The marketing should be doing 90% of your sales anyways, right? But if you don't have the ability to handle objections, then that might be the differentiating factor that separates you from getting the sale versus not getting the sale. Sales is going to take you from the amount of money that you are like bringing in right now to generating 10 times more with the same amount of leads. Sales with the same amount of leads with someone that understands how to sell versus doesn't, right? This person that understands sales will make tens of thousands of dollars more than the guy that doesn't understand sales because that's where the conversion lies, right? Marketing without sales is just like there's nothing really there to work with. But sales without marketing is the same way backwards.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see myself. I definitely want to be a face somewhere, right? So I'm gonna do that, whether I like it or not. Whether this person like, whether you like it or not, whatever it is, I'm gonna be a face out there, one way or another, right? I've only been running content, right, for 2 weeks, not even taking it serious, and I've already generated millions of views, right? Now, all I need to do is double down and really focus on content creation, and I'll end up being one of those faces, right? I want to be a recognizable space in the or face in the space, right? And I think I have the ability, the ideologies, the mindset, every like I guess necessary trait that you would attribute to these top guys. I think I have it. And I don't think they have anything that I don't. All they've done is implement it for a long enough time. So I think with time, I'll get there.
Is there a specific business you see yourself in within that time?
I would say still in marketing if I was like to predict something, right? Because it's a skill, right? Now, business models versus skills are completely different, right? A lot of business models will end up being like a lot of business models will die out. A lot of business models come and go. Skills just never leave you. So marketing, sales, AI, whatever skill that you end up picking, those skills will never leave you. The business models will. So I think marketing is one of those skills that'll never leave me. So it's something that I can predict from my future that I will always have, like I guess, part.
How are you looking to implement AI into marketing?
I want to stay away from AI as much as possible right now with marketing. But I want to like obviously AI is the best thing that you can implement within like your back end, within systems, maybe appointment setting right now, stuff like that. You could definitely implement it in within like the back end. Inside, like aside from that though, in correlation to like just like the front end, right? Like video creation, I want to stay away from it right now. But utilize it in every way, shape, or like every way possible to use AI, I would use it, right? But as for content creation, that's the last thing that I'm doing.
So you want to use AI for the back, for like the back end, like the heavy work, and on the front end, like creating content, just manual labor, right?
Exactly, yeah. I think that's the best way to do it right now. I think if you are someone that says, hey, I want to rely on AI to produce any sort of content for me, if you're someone that does that, I think you'll end up failing within content creation, right? If you cannot conduct your own creativity into your own content right now, then I think it'll be the downfall for a lot of people.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
And 10 years, it's the same thing. Same thing. Like, yeah, if I was to say, like, if it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I see myself hyper successful. I see myself as someone with a lot of attention. I see myself with a lot of materialistic shit, fucking around somewhere, taking care of the people that surround me. I think like a lot of the values that I have right now, I want to take care of the people around me. I want to make a lot of money. I want attention. All of these things will all be driving factors to where I am in the next 10 years, 20 years. All it is your actual traits that you were given. So all I think it is it will really show, I guess, those traits that you already have. You won't be a different human. You won't be a different person within 10 years. You'll only be a, I guess, like bloomed out version of the person you are right now.
Right now, I'm just trying to think of any, because I pretty much asked you like literally every single question. Is there anything that you want to touch on, or is there like something specific that I haven't asked you yet?
You haven't asked me.
Yeah.
But I think you've asked me a lot. Let me ask you a question now. I guess. All right. Like, where do you see yourself in the next like year or two with your podcast?
Year or two?
Yeah.
Uh, that's a good question. I see myself doing in-person podcasts, like I'm flying out to places and actually interviewing people in person. I think within the next 2 years, I should have at least 10K subscribers on YouTube, and I should probably be monetized by then. But yeah, like if it comes to the podcast, like nothing too crazy, honestly. I just think I'm actually flying out and actually, interviewing people in person, and yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to be though?
Where do I want to be?
Versus,
Like with
yeah.
like with a
Versus where you.
podcast?
Yeah. I just asked you like I guess where you see yourself realistically within the year or two. Well, where do you
Mm.
ideal? I guess like in a perfect world want to be.
Well, I think this is gonna take a bit longer, but I think within the next 5 years, I do want to be like the number one podcaster. Um, yeah, in terms of I guess business, I do want to be the number one podcaster and obviously have like millions and millions of subscribers. But I think that's gonna be way later down the line. So yeah.
Yeah. Um. I mean, yeah. I mean, do you have anything else?
No, I think I pretty much asked you every single question and you answered it phenomenally. Seriously,
Yeah.
I can't even say that word, but yeah, you answered it like yeah, really good. And like,
I
did you
appreciate it,
do
bro.
sales or like because wait, so were you doing like DM sales or like in person sales? So how did that work? Cause your
How did I
communication
learn
skills is really
sales?
really good. Yeah, your communication skills is really really good. That's why.
Oh, my communications. No, my communication was actually shit. So,
Yeah.
the way that I speak right now versus the way that I used to speak is completely different, right? I couldn't even conduct the things that I was thinking into words the way that I can properly now. And I think it was because of the people that I listened to really made a switch, right? So I started listening to the people that have really good communication. So I started listening to guys like Jordan Peterson. I started listening to guys like Tate constantly, right? It's kind of like the concept where you'll see like you are the sum of the five people that you hang around. So to some degree, you'll communicate like the guys that you are constantly speaking to, right? So it's the same exact concept. Your inputs to some degree have a sort of like output to you, right? So my inputs before were actually shit because of the place that I was in. I'm not in like the best part of town. There's a bunch of junkies, a bunch of druggies. The friends I was hanging around weren't great people, right? So my communication matched the lifestyle that I was living. Now all I did was make the switch from what I was inputting, and what that was these guys that have really good communication skills that obviously compounded into the way that I speak right now. So the way that I speak isn't really, I guess, something that can be put in like a course. It would just be something that would have to be built within a period of time through the people that you listen to, and also through analyzing the way that you speak already, right? So I think that's the biggest like driving factor is just the things that you input, and then also to analyzing the things that you've like, I guess, done already. Like after this, I'm gonna watch this podcast back. Like where did I start? Where did I fuck up? How could I have said this better? Whatever it is, it's just constantly analyzing what's happened. Like if you're just talking in a grocery store with someone just communicating, right? And you fuck up your words, or like I was super awkward just with random like interactions, like the one that I just brought up right now, just random people like in a grocery store, stuff like that. So I'd analyze, how did I fuck this up, right? And I would always, I guess, improve on the analyzation that I made, and also to the second thing, like I said, which is your inputs. So I was inputting a lot of the guys that were really good communicators.
Who or which influencer had the most impact on your communication skills?
I think Tate had the most influence on my communication, because he directly talks about communication, and also to the way that like he has, I guess, ideas purported on him that would be difficult to respond to, and he responds to them super well, right? If you were to listen to someone with pretty like basic topics, pretty basic ideologies, it wouldn't take you as far as someone with extreme ideologies that they would have to respond to. So I think he was one of the most like influential person to my communication skills, just because of the ideas that was purported on him and the topics that he would constantly talk about.
Yeah. Omar, this was a pretty good podcast. You were a really good guest. And when it comes to communication, bro, it's just next level. Seriously, I think
Appreciate it,
out
bro.
of every single person that I've interviewed, when it comes to communicating, yeah, you're definitely number one out of every single person I interviewed.
I
So
appreciate
yeah,
it, bro.
I really appreciate you for being here, man.
Bro, I appreciate it, bro. It was great. It was great talking to you, bro. Your questions were great. I liked the little segment at the end of it where like it was like I guess like hot. I fuck with that. You should
Hot
keep that
take.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely keep that in. Your questions were great too, bro.